this legislation down to City Council. In the past few months, I have made comments concerning our economic development plan for the city, among other things. I think SAPA, while not a fix-all for every problem that we have, is a definite step in the right direction and a blueprint that we can use for the future of this city. I just want to first mention a few important aspects of SAPA. The first thing, the SAPA plan shall not infringe on any lawful rights granted to any member municipality that said member retained prior to its participation in this association. All decisions relative to participating in this plan, now and in the future, are the sole dominion of the elected leadership of each member municipality. Each member community will continue to maintain its own zoning hearing board. Each member community reserves the right to withdraw from this SAPA plan at any time. And finally, the autonomy of each and every member community shall be permanently protected and maintained. I think those are important points, because what I heard when SAPA came into the caucus was people were a little nervous that we wouldn't have a zoning board or the zoning board would carry no weight. That is not true. The zoning board still carries weight, as does the planning commission. I know that SAPA had been brought up before council in 2010, and since that time, I've heard many comments about it. Some comments always begin with, oh, you know, the Abingtons have something to do with this. Well, they must be up to something. This can't be good for Scranton. They probably just want to dump everything on us and keep their places immaculate. And that's the truth. That's what I've heard from various people throughout the city when this comes up. I think it's time we look past that mentality and see this plan for what it is. And that is a blueprint for the future of Scranton, and one in which we work together with other municipalities for the betterment of this area. This plan is, as I said, not a quick fix for our problems, but it at least acknowledges the fact that Scranton should be the center of economic development in this area. There are three main reasons why I will be supporting this plan. Number one, increased opportunities for economic development. Number two, increased funding from the state. And finally, number three, opportunities to increase the tax base within the city. We have recently witnessed the departure of several significant businesses from the downtown. While the SAPA plan alone cannot prevent or halt this trend, the plan emphasizes the need to reduce sprawl and infill the city. The SAPA plan allows participating municipalities to share land use requirements, which means Scranton could better attract new or relocating businesses. The plan can give the city a way to facilitate economic development based on a coordinated and comprehensive strategy, rather than every municipality competing for tax revenue, which is a huge problem in this area. SAPA puts a strong emphasis on Scranton being the center of economic development in the region. A healthy, vibrant urban center in Scranton is key to the overall vision of this plan. We also know that the city is in dire financial straits. Anything we can do to save money or create opportunities for new funding must be considered. If Scranton adopts this plan, if we as City Council adopt this plan, we will be eligible for additional grant monies from the state, and it also saves us from expending money on required planning updates. According to Cindy Campbell, the community planner from DCED, which is the Department of Community and Economic Development, communities that participate in a multi-municipal state plan receive priority consideration for grants from some state agencies. PennDOT, DCED, and the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, among others, give priority consideration for grants to communities involved in comprehensive plans. Projects such as the Elm Street project in South Scranton, the Main Street project in the downtown, and the Lackawanna Heritage Valley Authority Trail project would have a better chance of obtaining grants from the state. Should we as council reject this SAPA plan, we would then need to pursue our own comprehensive plan. In 1993, Scranton's single comprehensive plan cost approximately $100,000. The SAPA plan would replace the city's comprehensive plan, thereby avoiding the costs associated with updating or creating a new city plan. The only cost requirement for Scranton for implementation of the SAPA plan would be $200 a year for dues. Finally, the city has long needed to update their zoning ordinances. Adopting the SAPA plan would make us eligible for state funding to defray the costs of that update. Finally, SAPA offers a framework to increase our tax base. No one would disagree that we need more people and more businesses in the city if we are to continue to receive the same services without burdening those least able to afford it. Most of the targeted growth areas in the plan are in existing urban areas. By keeping rural areas more rural and urban areas more urban, it saves the Abingtons from spending money developing the infrastructure to support sprawl while attracting money to Scranton by directing businesses to where the infrastructure already exists. In closing, I strongly urge my fellow council members to support SAPA so that we may begin to take a step in the right direction. This plan provides a much-needed blueprint for the future. It allows us to work together towards a shared vision. It is a framework for the future of Scranton that anticipates and accommodates opportunities for focused growth in the city. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Anyone else? It should be noted that as was indicated, this will probably be introduced, and then it will be tabled, and there is a 45-day waiting period before it can be put back on the agenda. During that waiting period, it would have to be reintroduced, I believe, into the Planning Commission and zoning and so on. So there's plenty of opportunity for input from the community prior to another vote on whether we adopt SAPA or not.